I didn't see him for a while. Then one day I got home, and I found my mother dead. And even though I didn't see him for a while, he was the first one there that morning, you know? And he talked to me, and we took all her jewelry out of pawn, and we fucking got the cemetery all hooked up, and the undertaker and the fucking funeral parlor. And there was a Cuban funeral parlor, so they fucking keep you for 5 days. You know how some people bury you after 2? Fuck that, Cubans, and it's 24/7. There's no 2 to 4 and 4 to 7. Fuck you. Cubans like to go out and come and drink and sit with the body at night. Creepy motherfuckers, but. So we had shifts. It was 24 hours. It was me in the daytime, my stepdad in the afternoon, and my uncle from California would do the 12 to 8 shift, and I'd hang out with him sometimes because there was no school that week. And the night before my mother got buried, it was a Sunday night, and it was just me and my stepdad in the room, and he goes, come here for a second. He goes, I went to the house last week, and I went up in the attic, and I was looking for something, and I found this in the room, and he went in his back pocket. He found a baggie full of roaches. And guys, he looked at me, and as he was looking at me, I could see the tears in his eyes. And he goes, is this yours? And again, you know, no, it's not mine. Dog, I found it upstairs. Is this yours? And he goes, do me a favor. Swear in front of your mother right now you'll never smoke pot again. He goes, you can't do that. Because you just can't do that. And I told him, I can't swear in front of my mother. I don't know if I'm ever gonna smoke pot again. So he was kind of upset about it. And then he goes, listen, I want you to do me a favor. My mother had died. I could either move to California, I could move to Miami, or I could move with him. You know, my dad lived a life. He lived on the 4th. He was always hiding. He always hid his money from the cops. So he lived in an apartment on the 4th floor with no elevator. I'm not gonna move into that fucking building. You know, it was on 18th Street. That means at night I had to go out and take a bus all the way down there. So at the funeral, he goes, listen, dog, whatever's mine is yours. He goes, I'd like for you to come live with me. He goes, I'll give you the bedroom, you go to school, I'll take care of you. You can work the flower shop in the afternoon, make yourself some money. I looked him straight in the face and I go, no. I go, I can't do it, I'm moving in with a friend of mine. Because he wanted me to be in at 11 o'clock. I was a sophomore in high school. I had no curfew, and the friends I hung out with had no fucking curfew. How am I gonna change my life now to come home at 11 o'clock and have to do homework every night? I was my own fucking man by that time already. It was just me and my mom for 2 years. I did my own laundry, my own everything. I cooked, I did everything. Me and her, so how can I go live with this guy? And that was it. That just fucking destroyed him. When I said that to him as a father, he's like, so you're not gonna come live with me to go live with your friend? And I go, that's right. I gotta go do this. It's in North Bergen, I'm around my friends. And he's like, all right. You know, I can't think about what that guy felt like. I can't even think about it because no matter who he shot, no matter how fucking crazy he was, he loved me. And he taught me how to be a man. He took me from day one and taught me, you know? After my mother died, dog, you know, I went into a spiral. I was living with this guy, and his brother was a cop. And every night, this guy's brother would come in and tell me about what he heard on the radio, about what was going on in West New York, about what was going on with drugs or fighting or shooting. And he would come home, and he would tell me this shit. One night, he goes, your father got arrested tonight. He goes, 2 people tried to mug him. He took the gun off one of them, shot the one guy, and he shot the other guy. He killed the one. I mean, this is when he was 55. By this time, he was 50-fucking-5. But he was shooting people and getting away with it because it was self-defense. He was a millionaire by this time, and people tried to rob him at night, and he fucking blasted them. Another night, he was in New York City with somebody, and there was a shootout, and the guy got shot, and he put him in the car with him. The guy died in his car. But he died in the car as he was going over the Lincoln Tunnel. So he threw the gun out. When he got over the Lincoln Tunnel, they pulled him over. They had the cameras, and he beat that. He had an attorney that would beat fucking anything. He didn't shoot the guy. He was just helping his friend out. But that was the lifestyle he had. You know, and I would hear this shit, and I'm like, this motherfucker's getting crazy. Here I am doing 8 balls, you know, robbing people, but this motherfucker's really going crazy. He's stabbing people and shooting people. By that time at the funeral, we had this family friend that we go to baseball games with, and I guess they had a misunderstanding, and he had sliced his ass one night. And at the fucking funeral, he had to apologize, because the guy was a family friend of my mother's. At the funeral, they had to hug and apologize. That's how crazy he got after what happened with him and my mother, and after, you know, then later on with the death. Me and him went at it because my mother left the house. She left property where Miami International was. She left jewelry. And he kept saying, you're on your own, bitch. And I'm like, I want half my mother's money. So I kept fucking going back and forth with him. I kept going to all my criminal buddies, their parents, and going, go talk to this fucking guy. You know, some of my friends with parents were mafia guys. I go talk to them, get my fucking money back. And they're like, Joey, we can't talk to this guy. We don't want no problems with this fucking guy. This guy's got a reputation as a killer. You're on your fucking own. There was a time in my life, like when I was 20, I was gonna kill this guy. I'm like, I'm gonna go by his house and hide under a car and shoot him. That was never gonna happen. This guy would see me coming a fucking mile away. A mile away, he'd see me coming. I was such a fucking amateur. You know, and I was upset. I loved him, and I felt like he was stealing from me. And one day I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, man? Here I am sitting here like a spoiled little bitch, crying about this money I'm gonna get. Fuck this money. I'm gonna go get my own fucking money. I'm gonna go live my own fucking life. You know, here I am sitting here telling people getting coked up going, in 3 years, I'm gonna get $500,000. I wasn't gonna get nothing. There was nothing coming to me. He wasn't gonna give me nothing. And to this day, you gotta think, what if he would've gave me $30,000? I would've blown it in a day at that time. I wouldn't have done nothing good with it, you know? So we didn't talk. We stopped talking in 1985. We didn't talk again until 91. I went to Colorado, didn't talk to him for 6 years, came back in 91. I went to see him, man. And he was very apprehensive. By this time, I had tried to rob his partner. I fronted an ounce from his nephew and never paid him. And he would hear about all these things. And all these things would break his heart little by little. And I remember pulling up one day and I got out of the car and I go, before you say something, I got locked up in prison. I did time. I go, everything you said I was gonna do, I did. You're fucking right. You know, you were right. If I would have moved in with you, I would have grown up to be a better man. I go, I'm here now, you know? And I wasn't, by no means was I ready for this guy. I was still snorting blow and mugging people. I was still a fucking mess. And he was trying to be my father. He's like, really? You have a wife now? I hope you're doing better. He asked me about prison. How was it? Did you like it? Yeah, I liked it. No, I didn't fucking like it. He started telling me about his prison stories, how he was in jail with fucking Crazy Gallo and all this shit. And we got tighter over the years. Like from 94 on, I would go to New York twice a year and I'd go buy a pound or two of shrimp and he'd cook for me and we'd have conversations and shit. And then I got into, you know, doing movies and comedy. Let me tell you something. This fucking guy was an insomniac. And one night he's up and he sees The Sopranos and he sees Big Puss and he thinks it's me, right? So he told everybody. He called Cuba. Oh my God, Jose Antonio's on the Mafia show. Oh my God, So his his wife called me one day. She's like, is that you? And I go, no. And she's like, don't say nothing to him. Because he thinks it's you and he'll break his heart, dog. I've never seen him this proud. I even put your picture back up and shit, right? So I'm like, come on, really? You know? And it just started dawning on me, all the pain I brought to this guy's life for no fucking reason. No reason at all. All this guy was ever trying to do was be my father. You know, and that's the funny thing about fathers that I was thinking about. Listen, man, you can have all the problems in your life you want, anything. I had 1,000 problems. But the biggest problem I had, the biggest obstacle that was stopping me to do anything in my life was not claiming responsibility. I wrote about it this week because it's big, man. I talk to people all the time. You know, I'll work with comedians and they get off stage. The crowd sucked, dog. Did you ever think that maybe you sucked? You know, all the sound was shitty. Well, as a professional, you know this going up, so you have to either yell louder, anything. And you know those people, we all know. Dog, what happened last night? I couldn't make it, dog. You know, I couldn't find the keys to my car. Just tell me you got fucked up. Just tell me you got fucked up and didn't want to hang out. But don't come to me with that excuse. For years, even after I went to prison, I thought I had it down, but I was never claimed. It was always somebody else's fault. You know, what happened? Oh, fuck, that bitch didn't call me, so I missed my job. What the, some lady's supposed to call you and wake you up? You're a fucking grown man. And that's what Juan was trying to teach me all those years. You know, wash that dish, pick up that fucking underwear, you know, claim responsibility. These are the things you have to do. I blame myself for everything now. That's how bad I've gotten to the point. If there's an accident on 134, if I get up at 6:30 and I'm watching KTLA, but I really do, just to see what traffic is, and there's an accident on 134, I blame myself. I'm like, that was me last night. I must have swerved and the guy got off. I swear to God. Because it's a fucking thing. I couldn't move forward. And in all those years that Juan, listen, as crazy as he was, this guy never laid a hand on me. Never even grabbed me by the throat or nothing. Nothing. He was a gentle dude when it came to me. It was everybody else he fucking hated, or everybody else. You ever watch Godfather 2? The guy with the big dick that they go see? In Cuba, there was a scene where he's tied up and the guy's got a big dick, and that's when Al Pacino rats out Fredo. Fredo took me here, and Al Pacino fucking turns pale. That guy with the big fucking dick, he had like a 2-foot fucking dick, a Cuban guy. He had a son that had a big dick too, right? I swear to God. And the club's name was Club 38 on Union City. And every Friday, the guy would show his dick on stage. A chick would come up and they'd fucking shove it in her mouth and she'd choke and cry. You gotta see this shit. Fucking classic. So he did numbers with the owner of the bar, you know? This is how crazy he was. I was a kid, I was like 9, and what he would do at night was take me with him on collections. He would go, come on, get in the car, let's go eat an ice cream. But what he was really doing was I was like blocking for him, you know? And I remember one night I go in, I'm like 12, he's like, come here, you gotta see this. This guy had a robe on, his dick was down to his knees, and it was dead. It was dead, like it was like piss dead, like it was down to his fucking knees. And I'm like touching my own dick, like what do I gotta do to make your dick that big? But the guy didn't have his money. I remember that the guy didn't have his money and shit, and he started talking to the guy like, when am I gonna have my money, blah, blah. And the guy's like, hey, Juan, I'll give you the money when you get it. And I thought Juan was gonna shoot this motherfucker. This is how cool he was. He was like, really? And he had a pen over here. Well, I thought it was a pen. It was a fucking gas gun. Like one of those things you fucking shoot pepper spray in somebody's face. And he's like, really? No shit. He looks at me, he goes, cover your eyes. He takes the pen out and he just shoots the guy in the chest with it. The guy starts holding his eyes. The whole club was coughing and shit. Me and him just walk out. Boy, that was a close call. That's the kind of shit he did with me in the car. That's the kind of shit, and I loved it. He would say, don't say nothing to your mother, because your mother won't accept that shit. I ain't gonna say, what am I, a crime stop? I don't give a fuck. I wanna see you stab people, dog. So it was really weird, like, I put all that stuff together, you know, while we were watching. Like, it took me fucking 2 minutes to see what happened with me and this guy while I was watching that stupid Longest Yard movie, and how proud he was. And there was parts where his lip was moving because he was gonna fucking cry, you know? That's what he did for me. He was my man. So just do me a favor, bro. Do 2 things for me. If you got a problem with your dad or something, that's all they wanted us to do. Even if your father was drunk and he'd fucking say shit to you, he wanted us to be better men than he was. I never fucking knew this shit, man. I wish somebody would have fucking told me. I never knew this. I never knew what manhood entailed. You could have a big dick, you could fuck 1,000 women. That's got nothing to do with manhood. It's claiming responsibility. And after you do that, it's like stealing. It's like stealing. Nothing else fucking bothers you. And I'm sitting there looking at this motherfucker at the end. This is 2006. And he's like, boy, that was a good movie. And I'm like, oh, I thought it sucked. But whatever. He was like, I'm really proud of you and all this stuff. And at the end of the conversation, I'll tell you how hard this motherfucker was. It was 2006, and I go to him, remember the night you shot Nico? And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. And I looked at him and I was ready to say, like, and I go, oh, this motherfucker. So just do me that favor. That's all he wanted to do. He just wanted me to grow up to be a fucking man. That's all he was doing all those years, by telling me all that shit. And today, I live by my life. It turns out sometimes the guy you hate is the guy you end up fucking becoming. You know, and that's what I've learned in this life. Like, that's why this Testicle Testament was important to me, and I hope it's important to you. Because I learned something from that whole lesson. No matter how bad of a fucking guy he was with people, how violent, he never touched my mother. All those stories, that night when my mother blasted him in the fucking head, he was hesitant. He just wanted to grab her and maybe smack her one time, which is acceptable when somebody breaks a fucking saint on your head when you're fucking sleeping, you know what I'm saying? But I got a picture of him now, and I look at it whenever I'm down, and it just toughens me up, because that's all he ever wanted. You know, was just to toughen me up. Like I said, I look at guys now, you ever look at somebody and they got like a cute fucking attitude to them with flip-flops on, and they think they're cool, and you know that if the world ended, these motherfuckers couldn't survive. That was me. You know, if my mother wouldn't have died 30 years ago, I would have been a fucking half a fruitcake right now. I would have been soft. I would have been soft, because my mother was spoiling me. She was rich, and she gave me whatever the fuck I wanted. And all Juan was trying to do was to balance that out, and to say, you can't give him everything he wants. That's the worst thing. You know, who broke the window? My son would never break a window. Yes, he fucking would. I seen him with the BB gun breaking fucking windows. You know, so it did me no good. And all that piece of growth, him yelling at me and saying those things, and I could be up here going, my stepfather stopped me from, fuck you. That's for pussies. Your stepfather wanted you, your father wanted you to be a man. So don't ever be mad at your father. Just please work with me on this one. And number 2, claim responsibility. You don't give a fuck. I did it. What, bitch? What are you gonna do, throw me in fucking jail? What are you gonna do? And it's funny, because when I got thrown in jail, that's what the judge told me. He goes, the reason why I'm throwing you in jail is, he goes, you'll never get in trouble again. But you didn't claim responsibility. I thought claiming responsibility was being a rat. It's not. It's just going, this is who the fuck I am. I'm happy you guys came out tonight, man. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right. I'll see you motherfuckers outside. Let's do this.